Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada. Nittai Gaur Haribo, 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 Nittai Gaur Haribo. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. We can switch on AC, close the windows. We can switch off that fan. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining in. Sincere apologies for being late by 30 minutes. Generally doesn't happen that way, but we had some very important of a community meeting. So that got a little extended. So therefore we got a little late. So kindly excuse us for this inconvenience. May I start now? So this is English, right? Yeah. Hare Krishna. So welcome once again. Today we'll be doing a little different topic as we had been doing and discussing for a while. This is one of the topic from our corporate lifestyle management that I do, so that we're bringing here. All of you are more or less now accustomed to hearing Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So I would do connect with that because all of you have heard it and attended that whole thing for a while, but not everything. So this subject matter is more, will be focused on the lifestyle management, how to excel in our life. And that holds true for spiritual life, one personal as well as professional life. So it's actually a 2-hour presentation, but we're going to kind of adjust in 1 hour. So I would not go too much in details. As I said, it's a corporate seminar. This wasn't planned out for today, by the way. We were planning to start mind management and the Bhakti Shastri, but that got delayed again because of certain reasons, which will be starting from 2 weeks from now. And at the beginning of this year, I had just asked our admin to share the slides as a part of New Year message. So many asked if I can speak on this. So I was earlier thinking to speak on Bhagavad Gita. Then I thought, okay, just for a change, let's speak on something on lifestyle management. That's the reason we are here. So I'll offer a prayer and we'll start with it. And I hope, is it all okay if we can just have it up to 7:30, this discussion? Some of you entirely against it, you can raise your hand. That's all right. No problem. Okay, in case if that would be the case, we can ask you to sit a little at the corner so you can peacefully walk if in case you have to go early. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूत श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौ भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So the topic for today, 15 keys to self-excellence. And we'll start our journey from Bhagavad Gita. Am I audible enough? Do we need to increase the volume? Can we switch off that fan then if the AC is on? And we can close the door, Dipasha. We can just close the door then, yeah. Yeah, it's fine, thank you. So all of us know about how Bhagavad Gita begins. Bhagavad Gita begins with Arjuna's perplexity. Arjuna is confused. Arjuna had prepared for this moment for 13 long years. The 13 years is the time of an exile when Pandavas were away. He prayed, he longed, he worked hard, he toiled for this day to come when he could face with the Kauravas and punish Kauravas for the sins, for the offenses they had committed, not towards him in particular. He was forgiving enough to forgive for the offenses done to him, but how can he forgive the offenses done to a lady, to a mother, to his own wife? And she was not his own wife, she was the wife of the four Pandavas. And in that context, how can Arjuna let go? Scriptures makes it very clear. Those who need to be punished, certainly one who set your house on fire, one who insult your wife or molest your wife, or who misbehave with one's wife, who usurps one's property or agricultural land. Like that, there are reasons given. According to scriptures, the person need to be given death sentence. We're talking of the time where everyone followed Vedic culture and Vedic scripture. So according to the law of the state and law of the Vedic culture and scripture, Arjuna was certified, was sanctioned to punish Duryodhan, Shakuni, Dushasan, Karna, and all others who were there. However, something suddenly happens at the onset of you can call it as a Bhagavad Gita, or the onset of the war of Kurukshetra, where Arjuna asked Lord Shri Krishna to drive his chariot in the middle of the army, and suddenly the circumstances and situation for Arjuna changes, and he gets perplexed, where he begins to speak like, I can't, it doesn't make sense to me. It is too difficult for me to do. I cannot fathom what's happening here. And like that, in his bewilderment, he made a call to quit. He felt he cannot deal with the people. He felt he cannot do this work. The task of a Kshatriya as a king to fight with the Kauravas to punish them. And somehow, suddenly, the situation and circumstances. And what was the situation? Very simple. It was he saw Bhishma Pitama Dronacharya standing right in front of him. Troubled his mind so much. Two things happened to him. First, he lost his intelligence, not knowing what to do. He was bewildered, what is right and wrong. How many of you have had faced experience or faced situations like this where you're perplexed? What should I do? Should I make this call, the other call? Now this is not online, okay? So you start interacting. We are over that COVID phase of, I speaking to the camera only. Now I have an audience to speak to. So how many of you have faced that experience where you find it difficult to decide what to do? Yes or no? If yes, raise your hands. Okay, I see almost majority of you. Now Arjuna wasn't only in that situation. Arjuna went a step further, which happens with all of us if the situation doesn't get resolved. Arjuna became so bewildered that he made a call. I quit. I cannot do it. Any one of you have faced or have experienced where you thought, enough is enough? For example, a job. I cannot deal with my respected manager, for an instance. Or maybe the job profile. Or maybe the whatever situation you may have. Anyone here? It could be in terms of relationship. It could be only for a short while. But the thought went through your mind, that's it, I give it up. More or less, all of us would have faced a situation. And this is where I want to bring your attention to what Lord Shri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Lord Shri Krishna began to answer to this perplexity of Arjuna. And Lord Shri Krishna said, Arjuna, this problem of yours can be solved through the practice of yoga. Lord Shri Krishna introduces the subject of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, or Hatha Yoga, or else we call Dhyana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. In essence, Lord Shri Krishna's message in Bhagavad Gita is, be a yogi. Yoginam api sarvesham mad gatenantar atmana shaddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo mataha. So be a yogi. However, how can I be yogi? Or we all can be yogi. Of course, Lord Shri Krishna in every chapter makes a point. Bhakti Yoga is the easiest and the sublime method for the current day and time, because you don't have to give up your household responsibility or your professional duties. You don't have to change your situation. Be in that situation and accept the do's and the don'ts, yama and niyama of the yoga practice. However, there is one thing that we all have to deal, regardless of we do Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga or else Bhakti Yoga, any of the yoga path, there is one thing that we all have to deal. That concession is not given, but we have to deal with it. What is that one thing that we all have to deal? Yes, Mother Gunjan? Maya, correct? This is not our neighbor, by the way. Huh? Those of you are new. We're not talking about dealing with our neighbor. This is Maya, and refers to the Lord's external energy. In case some of you are new, so probably you're thinking Gunjan is addressing to our neighbor. So, okay, what else? Quite correct, but I'm looking for something else on that. This is also correct. Our own doubts. Where do the doubts originate? That's what we're talking about. Mind. 6th chapter more or less is focused upon controlling the mind, which is titled as Dhyana Yoga. Arjuna says, Chanchalam hi manha Krishna pramati ballavadradam tasyaham nikraham manye vayuriva sudushkaram. In essence, Arjuna says, my dear Lord, mind is so fickle, so turbulent, so obstinate, so stubborn, it is impossible to control the mind. Why? Because in the 5th chapter, Lord Shri Krishna said, if you need to be successful on the path of a yogi, you have to learn to control your mind and senses. Therefore, Arjuna in the 6th chapter raises the question, is beyond my capacity. I can control a windstorm. I can control a thunderstorm. I can control a raging wind, but not the mind. And what did Krishna said? Arjuna, I totally agree with you. Asamshayam mahabhav manodurnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagena chakriyate. Before I go ahead and explain what Krishna says, how many of you agree with Arjuna's statement? The mind is very, very difficult, is wild. Please raise your hands. I'm tuning you up now for the live programs. Get interactive. I'm just, helping you open up now. More or less sitting behind the screen, we became a robot. No response. Okay, so that's the point here. So you all agree. What did Krishna says? Very first line Krishna says, asamshayam, which means samshaya means sanshay, doubt. A means no. it makes an opposite meaning. Arjuna, without a doubt, Mahabhava, the brave, the mighty armed Arjuna, correct. असंशयम महामाहो दुर्निग्रहम मनो दुर्निग्रहम चलम. ये जो मन है इसको कंट्रोल करना, to control the mind is very very difficult. Krishna is acknowledging अपना तो केस ही खराब है. What else hope is there if Krishna is acknowledging? Yes or no? If Lord Krishna would have said other way around, there was some hope for us. Krishna is acknowledging you. Yes, mind is a gone case. Whose mind? All of us, our individual mind. But Krishna gives a hope then. However, you can control abhyasena to kaunteya vairagya cha grihete. Abhyas, by suitable practice. Vairagya, which means detaching oneself from certain things. In other words, this abhyas and vairagya refers to, abhyas refers to niyam, to do, and vairagya refers to yam, niyam. These are the two fundamental steps of any yoga practice, don'ts and do's. And this is where I'm going to focus our discussion for today. So before I get into the subject matter of do's and don'ts, we definitely have discussed about this in Bhagavad Gita, where we spoke about the don'ts are things which spoil your consciousness. And the foremost of that is bad association. Association is of a person and association is of information. If you change these two kind of association, you're on the way back to Godhead. Now, the do's, the things that we need to do is the ABCD formula. I'm not going to speak about this today. Okay, I'm going to take a different tool, a different route to discuss on the subject matter today. So, Krishna actually tells us in Bhagavad Gita that Arjuna na jayate mriyate va kadach nayam bhutva bhavitva na bhavya. In essence, Krishna says, Arjuna, you're not the body but a spirit soul. Each one of us are eternal part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is defined as Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. He is the purest of all. We are the eternal part and parcel of that Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Krishna says, your nature is Sat Chit Ananda. We are actually all perfected beings. We don't have to do something to become perfected. However, there is an irony, or there is a catch here. The first point, none of us are an ordinary conditioned living entity. Of course, we are conditioned, which I'm going to talk about. But we are all being part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. We are already a masterpiece. We have forgotten our situation in this world. And that's what Krishna says in 7th chapter, verse number 13 and 14. Krishna says, every living entity, when it takes birth in this world, gets covered over by the illusion of my Maya auntie. You know what you're referring to, Maya Devi, or the external energy of the Lord that way, the divine energy, Devi Esha Gunamai. Because of the influence or the covering of that material nature on our eternal position of Satchitananda, we have forgotten who we are. And because of this covering, because of this forgetfulness, we make all kinds of endeavor in life to become successful, to be happy. So generally, we have an approach of Bhagavad Gita, or the approach what Lord Shri Krishna takes, where it talks about follow the path of Bhakti Yoga. Today, I won't be focusing on the path of Bhakti Yoga or the practice of yoga, but the challenges that we all face while being progressive in our life. That's the point of subject matter here. So if we all are perfected beings, if we all are part and parcel of the Lord, how to get rid of this covering which has covered our real nature? So just like, if you have to make a sculpture, you chisel away the stone. To give you an example, a child was walking by a street, and the corner of the street, there was a shop of a sculptor. And he saw a sculptor chiseling away a stone slab and making out something of it. The young boy asked, "Uncle, what are you doing?" And the man said, "I'm carving out a lion." The boy was surprised. He said, "Lion? Do you mean to tell me there is a lion within the stone slab?" The sculptor said, "Come back after a month. I'll show you." After a month, the boy went there, and he was surprised and shocked to see an incredibly carved lion standing at the same place where this man a month ago was chiseling away the stone slab. The boy asked, "Uncle, how did you know there is a lion within it? Or how did you carve out a lion?" And the sculptor said, "Well, I just chiseled away the unwanted things that was covering the lion." Are you getting the point here? So there's a very famous French writer, Antonio. He made a beautiful statement. He said, "Perfection is not achieved. when we don't have anything to add. In fact, perfection is achieved when there is nothing left to take away from us. I don't mean your property and wealth. I mean in terms of the things that cover our consciousness. In essence, this simple story tells us, or this simple example tells us, being a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, we are in fact a perfected being. We are in fact a masterpiece. Just like that lion within the stone slab is covered by the stone, similarly, all of us are covered over by different habits and traits because of which we don't realize our potential. And that is what we're going to talk about. So today, I'm going to make some 15 points. I know this is going to be a little longer that way. Some I would elaborate. Some are a little straightforward that you will understand. And maybe sometime in future, we can have more elaborate discussion. So things that I'm going to discuss now, some of those things you can fix very soon. Some of the things can take time. But the point is, as soon we are able to get rid of these bad habits of the traits, to that degree, we'll find ourselves on the way to overall well-being. To begin with, the very first point I would like to mention here is the first thing that we need to give up is the victim mentality. I would share the presentation with all of you nonetheless, but in case if you have the opportunity, I would like to pay attention to those 15 points, which I'll discuss, and shortlist for yourself the top 3 things that you would like to work on, which you think are definitely most essential for me. So, because I kind of just worked on this slide at the last minute, so to tell you, I don't have a concluding slide, by the way, okay? So in other words, I would not be showing you 15 points again. This is a one-time go. So kindly make a note or maybe remember. What is this victim mentality? Victim mentality means blame game. Oh, this person is responsible for my situation, or she is responsible, where am I? Oh, my parents didn't take care of me, that's the reason I am what I am today. Or the college in which I studied was not a good college, that's the reason I couldn't get or have a great professional career. No. This whole victim mentality, in fact, Lord Shri Krishna says there's nothing like victim mentality. I'll quote the verse in a short while. But the point is, those who live or those who take shelter of this victim mentality actually indicates of an irresponsible life, irresponsible person who doesn't want to take a responsibility of his life. In other words, when a person faces a failure, he does not want to learn a lesson out of a failure. He doesn't want to find out what is my weakness because of which I failed. Rather, what he says, their fault. The moment you pass on the buck to someone else, which means there's nothing wrong to me. And as long as you keep on saying there's nothing wrong to me, but in fact things are wrong with you because of which you're not being successful, then who suffers? I, an individual. Krishna makes a point very clearly that actually, this is 13th chapter. Of course, I will not be quoting verses for everyone, but 1 or 2 points. Krishna makes it very clearly. Karya karana kartatve hetu prakriti ruchyate purusha sukha dukhanam bhoktratve hetu ruchyate. Hetu means an instrument, which means purush sukha and dukkha. Whatever happiness and whatever suffering an individual gets, Krishna makes a point. Bhoktratve, whatever bhoktratve means he receives, hetur, he is himself the instrument of it. He is himself the cause of it. Just a side note, I guess for kids, we are having some, are you okay, kids? Okay, all right. So, but this is not a subject matter as such for kids today, but okay, just wanted to check with you. So, Lord Shri Krishna makes it very clear that it is, we are only responsible. We should never, get into this victim mentality of blame game. And I'll give you a quick case study here. Of course, as I said, it's a corporate seminar, so I will be quoting some case studies like this. All of you very well know this personality, Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. He was not the founder of Apple, actually. He was a founder of a Pixar company. Of course, he was a founder of Apple, I'm sorry. He first founded Apple, and then later on, he was asked to leave his own company. So I was reading his, long ago, I read his book in those college days. I don't know how many of you know his story. He had an accidental birth. His mother and father, they were not married, they were a young boy and girl, and it was an accidental case of conception. So parents didn't wanted it. So because her mother, the lady got pregnant, she dumped the child. And this child, Steve Jobs, ended up in a shelter home. When he ended up in a shelter home, after some time, a family came to adopt a daughter. By that point of time, there was not a single girl in that shelter home. And Steve looked like a girl. So the family adopted a Steve, not wanting him, wanted a girl, was adopted by the parent, and the parent themselves were not well settled and educated. The mother was a college dropout, and the father was high school failed. So to that family, he got adopted, and he had a very, very humble upbringing. In fact, a difficult upbringing. He went to a college, which probably all of you are aware. He dropped out of a college. He was so poverty stricken. This is what he says in his Stanford commencement speech, or I believe, commencement speech, where he said when he was studying in a college, once in a week, he would walk 7 miles to a Hare Krishna temple to get one nice free meal. So that he would travel and get it. That was his poverty-stricken situation. The fortune changed for him. He never gave up. He never got into this blame mentality that I didn't have a good parents. I didn't have a parents only. Not like that. He worked hard, started a first animation company of the world by the name of Pixar. No, before that, he's starting a Pixar company. He was the one. He went in his college life. He learned about calligraphy. And from calligraphy, he got an idea of making fonts. The fonts were not founded by, what is the other genius? What's his name? Bill Gates. Was not founded by him, invented by him. It was Steve Jobs. And later, Bill Gates stole the code from him. And he went on and established the fonts. He didn't give up again. He went and founded the first animation company, Pixar. And they released the first animation movie by the name of Toy Story, which became a world famous hit. And in fact, prior to that, he founded Apple. And he worked there, his own company. And after a few years of that, the board of directors asked him to leave the company. So he was fired from his own company. Now, this is too much now. The company that you found and you asked to leave their own company, how ugly the destiny could be. And then he went on to found a Pixar, which later on got purchased by Apple. And that's how he ended up in Apple. Things look great. You know, iPhone came into market 2007, but somewhere around 2012, if I'm correct, he got cancer and he had to give up his life. So just an example of somebody who really had a troubled background. At every point, every junction, you can see he had so many struggles. And the reason I just brought up his case study is he had all the reasons to blame. Yes or no? He had all the reasons, but looked like he didn't took that shelter. Of course, there's a lot can be added on that. But this is something I would like to quote, which I really like, one of his statements. And he said, if you live each day as if it was your last, that someday you would most certainly be right. And I'll conclude this first point, giving up victim mentality, by words of wisdom from Master Ogwe. There's a famous movie, Kung Fu Panda, Part 1. And this was not the Master Ogwe. Master Ogwe, I will just show, he'll come. So this is Panda, who has been nominated to become the Kung Fu champion. But this guy has no ability to do anything of that sort. And one day he decides, as Arjuna decided, not because of inability, but because circumstances, Arjuna decided to quit. So one day, similarly, our Pandaji decided to quit. And then Master Ogwe comes and makes a very beautiful point that I'd like to show to all of you here. Oh, how do I show that? Sound will not come now. Oh, can I have the sound speaker? You can just say, give me the speaker, right? I'll just connect the Bluetooth. रुकावट के लिए खेद है दूरदर्शन का प्रसारण थोड़ी देर में जारी रहेगा जस्ट वन क्विक सेकंड इज इट रेडी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Technology is not good with me. This is not working. The aux doesn't work here for me. Okay. So, Hare Krishna. Is there any last attempt, or I'll move forward now? Somehow he's just not finding out. Hare Krishna. So we just discussed about stop blaming us. So I'm pretending not to blame anyone right now for my situation. So I'm trying to follow what we just discussed. Interestingly, my Bluetooth also stopped working. Oh, this will work? This will HDMI will work? Where do I need to change? The sound. Okay, I'm doing that. Sound settings. Oh, JBL Flip 2 connected. Oh, actually, it got connected with multiple. That is also JBL? I'm sorry for all this disturbance. Let's quickly check it out. आवाज आनी चाहिए कहीं से भी आ जाए. I can't find the mouse. Okay, I got it. Okay, I'll say otherwise what Master Ogwe is saying here. One last attempt. Epson, yes, it will come now. I've just connected it. You have to increase the volume there. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. I'm actually confused. Where am I supposed to go and make changes? Are you talking me to go to Bluetooth? I'm connected to Flip 2. Yeah, I'm connected to it. If comes okay, otherwise I'm continuing with it. Is the volume maximum? Okay. We are pausing it. We'll continue ahead now. I'll just tell you what Master Ogwe was saying here. Yeah, it'll work now. Oh, you switched it off? Fine. So the point here is, so there is a subtitle also, you can see that. Oh, okay. I thought the sound is coming. So here the panda is saying, oh, I should just quit. I just go back to making noodles because I'm not as good as the others. And Ogwe says, quit, don't quit. Noodles, don't noodles. You're too concerned with what was and what will be. There is a saying, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. But today is a gift. That is why it is called the present. And the gist or the message is, the decisions that you make in the present today determines your future, creates your destiny, in other words. So don't take shelter of things that spoils your future. Make the right decision and the best choice is the point that's made here. Going to the second one, I'll be quick now. Second is give up on excuses and procrastination. Once the son came back to home after the school results were announced, and father asked, Beta, what is your result? And the son said, Papa, Mishra ji ka ladka fail ho gaya. Father said, all right, Beta, तुम्हारा result कैसा है? Papa, त्यागी जी का भी लड़का fail हो गया. So father said, son, I'm asking for your result. Papa, Pawar ji का भी लड़का fail हो गया. The father was really angry. He said, "What is your result?" And the son said, "अपने आप को आइंस्टाइन समझ रखा है जो तुम्हारा बेटा पास होगा." In other words, is a joke that I heard long ago while growing up. So the point is, give up on excuses and procrastination is something where again we don't take responsibility of life. That's the point we're raising here. So I remember I had met a CEO when I was last time when I went to America, and this person was a devotee, and he had come to pick us up at the airport, and he was making a very profound statement when we were driving back to his home, and he said, majority of the CEOs in America, they get up very early in the morning, and I asked him why. He said, because as the sun rises or as the sun, the day begins, they don't get any time to plan for themselves or to plan out their day. They're so busy in meeting people, attending to calls and whatnot. So he said most of the CEOs in America get up very early, even before Brahma Murta. He told me 3 o'clock, so I don't know how much true is it, but he himself is a CEO. So he said many of the CEOs get up. And second point he told me, which I really liked, he said he has studied the most successful people in America in terms of the professional life. And I totally agree with him. And he said, all the successful people have a similar trait. And I asked him what, and he said, each one of them are highly responsible in their life. For example, punctuality. For example, commitment. That's the point he said. Because they're responsible for every single thing that they do in their life, that's the reason they're so successful. And that's the point. Give up on excuses is what? Those who make excuses are irresponsible. They don't want to take a responsibility of life. Again, be a personal, professional, the spiritual life. These are the challenges that we need to overcome. A very beautiful quote by Christopher Parker. He said, "A procrastination is like a credit card. It's a lot of fun until you get the bill," which means until the deadline comes, we keep on delaying and delaying and delaying. The third, this is very interesting, giving up on the fixed mindset. There is something called as a fixed mindset, and there is something called as a growth mindset. What is a fixed mindset? Here a person says, or here a person depends entirely on his talent. He doesn't depend on hard work. He says, whatever skill and talent I have, accordingly, I would succeed in my life. But hard work is not what you ask for me. If he faces a failure, then he considers that to be his threshold, which means he cannot do better than that. That is a fixed mindset. This is what I am. I cannot go beyond it. And the other mindset, this is a psychological term, they call it a growth mindset. In a growth mindset, the person is always in the trajectory of the learning curve. When he faces a failure, then he takes it as an opportunity for him to learn and grow. Whereas in the case of a fixed mindset, that's a dead end for him. So a very interesting study was performed by a group of scientists for a span of 15 years in America. And they found out a family of alcoholic where the father and mother were alcoholic. And they wanted to see how this alcoholic parents have an impact on the child. In that case study, they worked on it and they found a particular family where there were twins. Now that is the best case study you can have, where there is the same genes and everything. And they studied this set of kids for 15 years. And they found out one child went on to become a drunkard, and another child went on to become a successful man in his, in his education and all that. So they interviewed both the kids. Now they're grown up, and they asked, "Why did you become a drunkard?" Let's say son A. And the son A said, "What can I do? I was surrounded by such situations, circumstances. My father used to drink. Alcohol bottles were all over my house, and I didn't know anything better than this." Then the father, the scientist asked the son B, "Why did you become a successful? Why are you not drinking?" And he said something very interesting. He said, "I saw my parents, particularly my father, how because of his alcohol habit, how he spoiled his personal life and the professional well-being. He was a failure. When I saw this, I decided for myself, I would not like to become like him. And I chose for myself not to drink." This is a case of a fixed and a growth mindset. Fixed, where a person doesn't want to make any endeavor for growth, again takes a responsibility. And you can draw a parallel for all of these things in the spiritual life, because that was not my subject for today, so I'm not going in that context. But for everything, you can draw a parallel in spiritual life. All of you have heard that example of a tortoise and a rabbit story. I'll give you as a homework. Please discuss among yourself with your spouse or with the kid and message me later on. Who had a fixed mindset and a growth mindset? A tortoise or a rabbit? That's the question for all of you. Hare Krishna. Something is, there is some special fragrance going on. Is it necessary for this fragrance to come? Yeah, we just, I don't think so it's really necessary right now. So the point here is we can't control the circumstances. We don't always get to choose what happens to us around us, but we can always try our best. Remember, who you are today is not who you have to be tomorrow. Fourth item, give up irrational beliefs. What is one foremost irrational belief, at least that I have found, is where many people think, about overnight success. Particularly, this is found a lot in young people. And those who just graduating from college or those who are looking for a job, despite of their college, despite of their academic performance, everyone is looking at a very heavy paycheck, isn't it? I remember meeting a set of students. They told me, we are planning to quit a job. I said, you just hardly got a job 1 year ago. What happened? And this group of students said, we feel like not able to make difference to the society. I said, how can you make a difference in the society when you just started, doing a job? It's hardly 1 year old. So many of us know where we want to reach. Yes, we know what success we want. Unfortunately, many of us forget the whole mountain that we have to climb up to reach to that destination, the pinnacle of the mountain. And that is what means by irrational belief. Many times those who get into bhakti also, they think maybe by the process of chanting Hare Krishna, next morning when I wake up, I'll have an effulgence and aura behind my face. The whole world would have changed. I'll be given a red carpet welcome by my manager or the family members. Everyone will be so perfect. Wake up. That doesn't happen like this. Life goes on as it is. So that's about irrational beliefs. Things changes gradually and we have to work toward it. Text number 5, the point number 5, give up multitasking, which is very common today. How many of you here chant Hare Krishna every day? Okay. How many of you find your mind doing multitasking? That's how badly we have got conditioned. Srila Prabhupada in America, when he first initiated his disciples, he said, how many rounds? 64 rounds. Some of them fainted. Swami ji pehle bola tha to kabhi lete nahi initiation. 64 rounds is too much. What we will do in our life? So Prabhupada said, all right, 32 rounds. Then again they said, Swami ji, this is too much. Then Swami ji said, you all are useless. Only 16 rounds, nothing less. How many rounds are we chanting? In the useless category. I'm just making a joke here. The point is, 16 is the minimum amount of rounds that we chant, those who are practicing spiritual life. But the point I'm trying to raise here is even while we chant, how many of us have experienced that mind is all over the place? Now, have you thought why our mind has got so conditioned to be all over the place? Because 2 hours of activity that you do depends on your other 22 hours of activity that we do, isn't it? And we have got so conditioned to do multitasking. Unfortunately, I don't know, somehow this belief system has seeped in. If we do multitasking, we are efficient, but not. I'll give you a case study where an experiment was performed at Microsoft employees in Seattle. A group of scientists had done a study where they found out, I'll give you the result, where they found out when a person, let's say he's doing his office work, and if he gets an email on the way in between, I believe when they did a case study, there was no WhatsApp or smartphone. Otherwise, they were given a case of WhatsApp, which would be every 2 minutes. So if you're doing a work for, let's say, half an hour, and after half an hour you get, or 15 minutes, you get an email, then their study found out it at least takes 15 minutes to bring your chain of thoughts back. We get so much detour because of that, one distraction. Your attention doesn't immediately follow what's the conclusion. And this multitasking is also called as, and again, psychological term, a switch tasking, where we keep doing it. Some of you might have seen where, let's say, mother is cooking, has a phone, or a man is working, has a phone, or many different things we do. In fact, when they did the study, they found out the task that we do when we do through multitasking doesn't take less time. In fact, it takes much longer. We do an exercise for it, but I would not be doing that exercise here for all of you. We don't have all that. Second, this is the result of the scientists when they did the study. It brings about a great amount of decrease in the efficiency and the quality of the work. You can try it out. Let's do as a homework for all of you. Write a statement horizontally And on the bottom line, vertically write down a number. Let's say write down the number 1 to 21. And on the horizontal line, you write down switch tasking is difficult. So you do experiment in two ways. First time you write down switch tasking is difficult, full line, and then write down 1 to 21 number and set a timer for itself, how much time it takes. And next time when you do this experiment, then for every letter, you put a number. When you write S, then write 1. When you write W, then you write 2. Do it like this and then map your results. See in terms of the quality of your handwriting and the amount of time it took. Now, because now you know you're doing this experiment, you'll be extra alert. So a little bit be in a proper mood and then do it, you'll see the difference. And that's the conclusion. In essence, switch tasking is a thief. And that's the reason Srila Prabhupada said, when you chant, just chant. So the point I'm trying to make here is those of us who are doing this meditation, if at least for the time of meditation, we can be attentive, at least for that span of time, understand how much impact it would have for the rest of your day, isn't it? Slowly, somewhere we have to cultivate this activity or opportunity for us to do a single activity with full attention. That's the point I'm making here. Next point, give up the fear of change. Many times people find it too difficult to accept a new thing. And they're tuned to their way of life, their way of thinking. Have you experienced that? If you suggest something, about a change of lifestyle or anything, many times people find it very difficult. They feel, kind of accustomed. They're in their comfort zone. They don't want to bring about a change. This is more of a corporate point here, but the point is, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, the material nature is always changing. The change is inevitable. And I'll just give you one corporate example for that. All of you probably know about Nokia, the good old days, the nice keypad mobiles, Nokia mobiles. उसको 10वें माले से भी फेंको कभी नहीं टूटता था. Anyone if you remember? Many times from a hostel building, while playing around, the mobile would go flying down. And after 2 hours, you pick it up and it's still working. Those Nokia big 3310, I believe, the big sturdy mobile. So anyways, this Nokia company was such a successful company which had 3 by 4 percentage share of the whole mobile industry until 2007. But something unique happened in 2007. Steve Jobs released the first iPhone in the whole world, or the smartphone. Not the smartphone, BlackBerry already had the touchscreen phone, because of which by 2009, the Nokia's market share reduced to only 10%. And by 2012, Nokia lost its share value to so much that in 2013, Nokia was purchased by Microsoft only for $7 billion against its evaluation of $60 billion industry. And 25,000 employees were fired. The point I'm trying to make here is, the point which is brought about to this case study is, when Steve Ballmer was making this, the announcement about, the Microsoft acquiring Nokia, with tears in his eyes, he said, we didn't do anything wrong. We just didn't accept the change. Now, some of you may relate, some of you may not be able to relate to it right now, but it's a point for you to keep in mind. These are the factual realities of life. Text number 7, or not the text number 7, sorry, I got used to the scriptural language. Text number 7 and 8, point number 7, I mean to say, give up fault finding, whining, and comparing. How many of you think this is the need of the hour in the society? Where people stop finding fault with others, complaining and whatnot. This is one of the foremost things that you'll see. If you don't believe me, switch on the news channel. What are they doing on the news channel? That's what goes on. I remember, when family had gone to Mahabaleshwar. You've seen Mahabaleshwar has a beautiful Krishna river. They were on a beautiful resort, and their window opened. It was on the top of a hill. Window opened to a valley, and down below is a huge Krishna river. It was a moonlit night, and very gentle breeze was blowing. A perfect setting. The man was looking out the window, and he was doing something with his hand. And the lady came from behind and he said, "Oh, what a beautiful weather. What a beautiful setting. Look at the beautiful sparkling Krishna river. The light is reflecting, the moonshine is reflecting." And the man with the frustrated face looked at her and said, "Mera mobile kaam nahi kar raha hai yahan pe. Tumhe ye vatavarn ki lagi hai, you're talking about this environment, my mobile network is not working." So the lady was making a point. Even in such a fabulous place, an environment, that whole idea of whining, complaining doesn't go away. So this is something in terms of interpersonal relationships becomes a big obstruction for our progress. Very little is needed, Marcus, very beautiful point. Very little is needed to make a happy life. All is within yourself and your way of thinking. Give up unhealthy lifestyle. Point number 8, Yukta Hara Viharasya, Yukta Cheshta Karmasu. Bhagavan Shri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, live a regulated lifestyle. Here, unhealthy lifestyle refers to our eating habits and sleeping habits. One philosopher said, very nice, the foremost, if we need to take care of anything in our life, is our health. Health is wealth. And of course, in spiritual circle also we recognize, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, health is very important. If you have health, then only you can meditate. Then only you can do bhakti, isn't it? And there are 3 ways of keeping a good health. Nice sleep, good night rest, good eating habits, and physical exercise. I guess all 3 are difficult to find in the world today, isn't it? A little bit? Yes? No? First of all, for physical exercise, I'm the worst person to speak on it, but no problem, I can just make a point about it. It's always in part of my schedule, but it always keeps getting postponed. But yeah, we hardly walk, we hardly move around. The 9th, the give up the toxic association. It is said we are the average of people with whom we regularly associate. The people we associate with, if they are the one who drag our consciousness, they are the one who talk all the irrelevant things which doesn't raise our consciousness, we reduces our average. On the other hand, we meet with those people, associate with people who talk about progress in life, who talks about things that raises our consciousness, those who are motivating, those who have a positive outlook. It is said we improve on our average. How many of you have experienced this? This is something which all of us would have an experience. Certain association, as soon as you go into that association, you feel like completely dried away. And there are certain association when you go into, you feel like uplifted. That's the point that we need to take care of it. And Bhagavad Gita, time and again, makes this point, change your association. Albert Einstein have to say something to all of us. Stay away from negative people. They have a problem for every solution. Self-explanatory, I'm not going to go into details. Give up your dependency on social media and television. A very beautiful statement was made by one author. He said, you could be the ripest and the juiciest mango. Still, there will be people in the world who would not like mangoes. What it means? Don't expect to be liked or appreciated by everyone. Give up our dependency on social media and television, particularly social media. I guess I have some case studies here. Okay, this is worthwhile a video. Is the sound working now? I'll just make one last attempt. All of you here. It's a very interesting video. Here, right? Yeah. So here we have to go JBL? Speakers. Okay, Krishna willing it should work now. It's a very beautiful video about the nature of social media. Let's take a look. Great, sound came. Switch off the light, Gunjan. Watch it carefully. So one of you have to tell me, what did you see here? breakfast. You have the lights on? Anyone? What did you just saw here? Yes, Chai?
Yeah, actually, they are only showing, they are actually not doing. So, they're giving a false image and false opinion. They're creating a false opinion about them in front of us.
Okay, what else did you see here? That's a half truth. There's one more thing, yes? Yes, Maisha says they're getting addicted to post everything on social media. Just a little ahead of it, you're correct. Yes?
They feel that the happiness is coming from outside.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Kamalika?
They're trying to cover up their frustration, what they actually want, but that's actually not happening. But they're showing in the social media what they actually want.
Correct.
It's not actually happening.
Wonderful. There's something more to it here. Abhishek? They're giving the control of happiness to others, but something more to it. Yeah, they love to make others jealous. Correct. Anything else? The main point you're missing out is they're actually not spending time with anyone except with the social media. The friends sitting on a dinner table are least bothered about each other, but more bothered about what's happening on the social media. And I'm not making it. Let me show you a study on it. There's a study published by BBC for 2018. Oh. So here they found something very interesting back in 2018. 2014, when they had done a study, they found out people more than 50 years of age, they experience a huge amount of loneliness in their life. In just a span of 3 to 4 years, they found the levels of loneliness are higher in younger people, with 40% feeling lonely compared with only 27% over 75. Why? Because people who feel lonely have more online only friends. And that's the reason among the teenagers, there are higher levels of frustration and depression because they have no idea of this whole social intercourse in terms of how to deal with others. They have a very fictional idea of life, living on the this internet world, and particularly what to speak of the games that you have these days. You can build your own city and whatnot. So people have stopped interacting with the outside world and the real people. And when they go outside in the world, they have a real difficult times. Why otherwise we would wonder there is an increased rate of suicide among the teenagers and the young people in the modern day, yes or no? It's because of high degree of depression, loneliness. So this is about giving up dependency. It really doesn't add value. Just an example of it for you to consider. I'll be quick with the last 4 points now. This is about saying sweet no. Do not say yes to everything that do not support your goals. How many of you here find it difficult to say no? Raise your hands. I raised double for a reason, okay? Although on sweet no and all that, but sometimes it's very difficult to say no. And that's something we have to work in our own life. Why? What's the need of saying sweet no? I'm particularly saying sweet no. Why sweet no? So that it doesn't hurt other person, but the message goes straight that no, I cannot, because many times time is ultimately limited, and there are many activities we are pulled into it that doesn't add value in our life. It always distracts us from our goal. Yes or no? That's the whole point. To find out what's our priority, stick to it, and if the other activities align with it, we support. If not, we have to move on. Otherwise, we can never be progressive. Short-term sacrifice would yield greater benefit in the long run. Text number 12. Give up on your need to control everything. How many of you have experienced this nature of the urge of, the great sense of controllership? It has to be the way I want it. If it doesn't happen, frustration, challenges and whatnot, well, ultimately it doesn't happen the way you want it because nothing is in your control. And many times people are conditioned like this, thinking that jo maine bola hai wahi hoga, but it doesn't happen like that. What do we control? Bhagavad Gita makes it very clear. We don't even control our own body, mind and senses. How can we control others? We don't have no control on situations and environment. Then how can we control the life of others? Detach from the things you cannot control and focus on what you can. We may not have control on the situations, but we do have on our responses. Work on improving responses. St. Francis of Assisi made a very profound statement. He said, "My dear Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. Give me the courage to change that I can, and give me the wisdom to know the difference. What I can, what I cannot change." 13, give up on your need to be liked. This is, I believe, is a far greater addiction than anything. Do you know there's a Facebook addiction now? There is a whole what we call rehabilitation center for people to get out of this whole Facebook addiction. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, but I'm pretty sure you all would have gone through this phase, or you probably would be, where you post a photo or you post a message on social media, and every 5 minutes we keep looking, kitna like kara? Hi, Anna. And if in case that is not the case, it looks like Shunya itam jagat sarvam govinda virhena way. The life looks lifeless. There is no purpose to living. So that's the point here. I mean, the need to be liked is very natural. There's nothing wrong about it. But we have to understand that we cannot be liked or appreciated by everyone. That whole misunderstanding that I should be accepted by everyone, nobody should say wrong about me, is not natural. Whoever we are, there would always be some people to tell you something that you have never known about you, to find faults which you have never seen about yourself. You can be the juiciest. I already quoted this. And the point 14, we're coming to the last one after this. Give up your perfectionism. Do not let the fear of failures distract you from moving forward. Have you come across perfectionists? They become really, they're kind of a perfect naggers. They particularly Steve Jobs. Do you know the history of how iPhone came into market? There was this whole Apple, I'll give you in essence 2-3 lines about it. When the iPhone was to be launched, there were two set of teams within the Apple headquarters were working, and one was working on the hardware part, other was working on the software part, and both the teams had no idea what is the ultimate product. So much was a secrecy around. For 6 months, these people worked day in, day out without going to home. And finally, at the end of the day, Steve Jobs was sitting on the head of everyone because every year there's an Apple conference when they launch their new product. And the date is announced way long ago, and they had to release the product. And 2006, they had a failure. So 2007 was something they had to go ahead to prove themselves. There was such a huge pressure. I'm not making it up. This is up in the news and all over the books. Half of the team ended up with divorces. Half of the team working for Steve Jobs in those projects, half of the team ended up with divorce. So these people were interviewed. What happened? He said, what can I do? We were put into so much amount of work pressure, we didn't go home for weeks together. One said, my wife was pregnant. I couldn't even go to attend the birth of my child. I saw the child after 2 months, and my wife was fed up. I'm just giving an example. This whole need of being perfectionist, it just destroys lives. Example of a Steve Jobs in that sense. 15th and the last one, give up judging others. This is a statement that I often quote. Learn to give benefit of doubt and have patience whenever I speak on the subject of relationship. Judging others is very easy. And how many of you experience most of the times our judgments are wrong? Most of the time, what we think of is very easy to judge based on our own perceptions, and there's no limit to it. So if we are ever serious about any relationship in our life, there's one thing that we have to always think about. That is, learn to give a. I haven't edited or I've put here. Yeah, learn to give a benefit of doubt. I've intentionally put a word benefit. Benefit means an advantage. Give an advantage, give him a chance or her a chance may not necessarily be wrong. It's always there. To give an example from Ramayana, Ram, Lakshman, Mother Sita had been kidnapped, and Sugriv and Lord Ram had signed an agreement. I'm talking in that language, where Lord Ram is going to help Sugriv defeat Vali, and Sugriv is going to help Lord Ram win over Lanka. That's an agreement. Lord Ram helped Sugriv win over Vali. Sugriv has been appointed as the king of the Vanaras. When the king Sugriv was about to send his Vanara race to search for Mother Sita, the rainy season, the monsoon season began. In those days, monsoon season was fixed for 4 months. There's no change into it. It will be for 4 months. So monsoon season started. Lord Ram said, well, we are all in the hilly areas. It's not going to help to find Mother Sita. So I request you, wait for 4 months. Let the monsoon season end. After that, we'll go and search for Mother Sita. But Sugriv, who had been living in forest for a long, long time, ultimately is a monkey. Monkeys are prone to sense gratification, get carried away with the sense engagement. Sugriv got so much caught up with his princely or the royal life that he forgot his commitment to Lord Ram. Lord Ram had been waiting, 4 months have passed, and Lakshman became very angry. And Lakshman said, my dear Lord Ram, enough is enough. I'm going to go and chop off his head. Lord Ram said something very interesting. Ram said, Lakshman, I know Sugriv has not kept up his promise. Even I am upset. But you have to understand that we cannot become so judgmental about why he has not turned up. Rather than going and killing him, why don't you go and find out and tell him that, or remind him of the commitment? Lakshman said, no, Lord Ram, you're always thinking of forgiving. And Lakshman represent, who becomes very angry, particularly for the interest of Lord Ram. Lord Ram again said, no, Lakshman, I don't want you to take an action of killing Sugriv for this act. Ultimately, we need Sugriv's help to find Mother Sita also. Please go and find out. So that's how Lord Ram pacified Lakshman's anger. And Lakshman, when he went there, when Sugriv got to know that Lakshman has come, Sugriv sent Tara and Hanuman ahead to pacify Lakshman. Because Lakshman had already got pacified, otherwise Lakshman really would have killed Sugriv, because Lord Ram had told him. Just the time Lakshman reached there, Sugriv had already arranged his whole Vanara race to go and search for Mother Sita. The point I'm making here is, learn to give the benefit of doubt. Mistake happens from everyone. Some could be accidental, some could be intentional, but we need to stop judging. So how do we utilize this judging ability that we have? How many of you agree? Some of us have PhD in judging others. We are pro, as I say now, we are highly experienced, highly trained. So anyways, you don't have to raise your hand. That's not the point, but the point to be made here. So we can use this judging ability that we have for self-awareness, for self-reflection. Look within, reflect on yourself, and find out where the things that I need to improve, the things that are potential in me that I need to utilize and progress. And like this, we can be progressive. With this, I come to a conclusion. I'll pause here. This is one last point about what to accept. What to give up is what we spoke about. And what to accept is only one thing that I would say. Lord Shri Krishna also emphasized in Bhagavad Gita and elsewhere in scriptures. There's only one thing that we need to look and long for in our life. Anyone can guess what is that one thing? Of course, there are many things, but there is one thing which is foremost among all. What is that one thing? How many of you had attended yesterday's interview that we had online? I made that point again and again when it came on principle of bhakti. What is at one point I was repeating again and again?
Strong belief.
Association, Sangha. Just keep focus on this one point. Now, Sangha is a big word. Association of saintly people. Association of people in whose association your consciousness is uplifted. You're given a right direction. Just latch on to that thing. You know, these 15 things are like a latch or like a rope which is latched onto the, I know you can say a parking lot or whatnot, and doesn't allow the ship to move on. It's just like a leash around the dog's neck, tied to a pole. How much ever he tries to move forward, he cannot. All of us are tied to this kind of a thing, which doesn't allow to move forward in our life. But we can very easily set ourselves free if we have the right association. If only in this one thing in one area we can work, I'll tell you, in everything else will be successful. And that is my understanding of life. I'll not give more details of it, but that's the point. Sadhu Sangha is the foremost thing that we should be seeking out, because we get knowledge in that association, we get the right kind of inspiration, everything is provided. With that, we kind of come to a conclusion of a non-bhakti topic. It was not actually a bhakti topic, but the subject matter. So in today's discussion, we kind of more or less discuss the 15 keys. We call it self-excellence because of any of those things you work on, you'll see a tangible. One thing is definitely for sure, you'll definitely have a lot of time for yourself. Most of these things are time wasters. So with that, I pause here. Hare Krishna. Any concluding points or questions? I kept up on my time to end. I was looking at the watch again and again to conclude in time. Hare Krishna. Anything? Any question? Any take-home point, just to see all of you, although your eyes are wide awake, but you were naturally awake. Any take-home point, any out of those 15 points you felt that I need to work on at least one thing?
No multitasking.
No multitasking, yeah, all of us. Anyone else? Yes, Maisha.
No multitasking, but it is very difficult to do that.
I mean, can you imagine Maisha is so young, even at her age, I know she has got used to multitasking. When she grows up, what would be the situation, And you're already conditioned to it. Why you have to do multitasking?
When we do something with anyone else,
So mind is already wondering, yeah, it's very difficult. Okay. Yes, Jai.
No comparing and no judging, like a pre-judging.
Okay. Dealing with the judgment or judging ability. Okay, fine. No comparison. Okay. Anything else? Who said? No complaint. Very, very difficult, huh? Every Kartik Maas, we all take a different kind of vows. And generally, the one kind of vows most of us try to take is no fault finding, because it's a very difficult thing. Fault finding and complaining. Any little thing, we get irritated. But naturally, we do fault finding. Very, very difficult. But yes, good try. Anything else? Yeah, benefit of doubt. Stop judging, or the benefit of doubt, the pass away. Yeah.
Not giving,
Not blaming. Not blaming. All right.
spend time with the ones around and not on social media.
Give up your dependency on social media. You raise your hand and speak. It looks like, Akashvani. Yes. You're not even in the vision of sight. Come ahead, na. Sweet no. Don't say no. It will be a little harsh. Learn to say sweet no. Sweet no, okay? Give up bad association. I intentionally use the word toxic. You say bad, we are used to too many bad things, but toxic, it really raises an alarm in our hand. Yes or no? Toxic means you're dangerous. You're toxic association. Anything else? Victim mentality. How many of you agree? I thought it's something which we generally become a victim of. Victim mentality. And from that, your blame game, complaint, fault finding all begins actually, you see. Oh, you already answered. Vishwakaran. Yeah, give on your need to control everything. Things have to work as I like, as I want to be. Okay. Anyone who have not said anything? Give the fear of change. Okay, fear of change. Anyone last 1 or 2 points? No, those who have not shared. I'm just seeing if they at least remember one point.
Be aware of perfectionism.
Give up perfectionism. So you see, through this, we do quite a quick recap. Almost 10, 12 points are done. So fine. Thank you all. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A quick announcement for which we actually called all of you today for this gathering. So 2 weeks from now onwards, we're going to start our weekend programs that we had actually thought or decided of. Can we open this? So, which means most probably the 30th and the 31st of this month, we'll be starting this Bhakti Shastri program in Hindi language for those who have been already connected and have been practicing and chanting, stable and spiritual life. So where we're going to systematically study 4 fundamental books, Ishopanishad, Updeshamrit, Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu, and Bhagavad Gita in details. And for that, there will be an exam and all that because it's our certified, ISKCON's certified course. And for the newer audience, or as for the English audience, we'll be starting a mind management program, which is a next level program of the Gita series that we did, which is almost around 5 topics, which makes 10 sessions effectively. So that will happen either on Saturday, Sunday both, or else will happen only on Sunday every week. All these programs will be conducted in live as well as online for those who cannot come. That's the point about it. Secondly, now because you have started our gathering and the lockdown, some of us did online kids program. At my side, I will still try to do one weekday kids program, which I will start in some time, maybe in February. However, our teachers, our educate team will be starting this weekend kids program that is every Saturday and Sunday. So those who have already had been studying Ramayana before, when we had a local study here, they'll continue with that. And those who are new, for them, will have a new set of program. So if in case we meet Saturday and Sunday, if in case it happens, so one evening for the kids would be activity, different activities, skills based, which will be taken care of by our mothers. And another day would be an education. Maybe Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, something like that would happen. And the another thing is, this is our last program at Blue Ridge. So we are moving out of Blue Ridge, most probably this week, and we'll be moving just in a neighborhood society called as Megapolis. You can see outside the window. That's what I mean by neighborhood, by the way, okay? Any case, in any way, if you're sitting in a car, it doesn't matter if you drive 5 kilometers ahead. It's not a big difference. So next week onward, we'll be there because next week we are moving. So we'll not have any program, but the following weekend we'll have programs then. And we also have this family time program for congregation taken by Aranshesh Prabhu and Madan Sundari, which happens on alternate Saturdays in the morning 10 to 12. And for that also, there is certain prerequisites. If any one of you are interested for that, it's a family program. It's only meant for families like that. Atul Prabhu, can you raise your hand? So they can meet with Atul Prabhu. He can give you more information about it. It's on alternate Saturdays where the community, our congregation comes together, and from there, there's a specific, program just to interact with each other and help them apply the principles of spiritual life in their day-to-day life, the needs of the grahastha in that sense. So these are some of the programs. And in case for kids program, if you have any question, can you raise your hand? Mother Anshu is behind. For those of you who have come for the first time, you can meet Mother Anshu here. And that's all about it. We are having every morning, Monday to Friday, Srimad Bhagavatam. And we'll also be starting one Bhagavad Gita Hindi online class once in a week that will be taken by Anashesh Prabhu. These are some of the upcoming events that I had to make an announcement. Anything else? That's it for the announcement. So thank you. It's almost 7:45 because we already had Kirtan in the beginning. So we'll skip the part of Gaurati that we thought of because it'll get late for all of you. We'll go straight to the dinner and maybe we can interact with those of you who have come for the first time or we need to talk to. And most probably in 2 weeks from now, we are also getting DTs. So we'll have actual DTs here. So we might have one huge welcome program for the deities. So more information will follow on the WhatsApp. I believe all of you will be connected to WhatsApp. Probably that's how you all came. So that's it for today and the announcement. Thank you all. Hare Krishna. So we'll get up now and we'll just make arrangement for Prashadam. Whoever is a Prashadam coordinator can see that. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.